Alright guys, TacticalRab here and today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News, and with Sentinels' miraculous qualification to the last chance qualifiers, SicK, after a few weeks out of the team, is back in business on stream last night, saying he's back individually and confident the Sentinels can make a run as the rest of the year progresses. But also with a patch update coming out tonight, is it possible the Chamber could get a nerf? Some pros are certainly calling for that one. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Just a couple of hundred subs away now from 20k. That'd be a huge milestone. Now let's talk about this first of all, because this was remarkable. K-Corp, Carmine Corp, or whatever how it was pronounced, did put on an unbelievable event here in France just a couple of days ago. I suppose yesterday these clips were coming out from. There was about 12,000 people here. K-Corp versus Vitality. That was a VALORANT match that was going on, and again 12,000 people in this venue. Like, this is honestly Mako, and this just goes to show really Carmine Corp are certainly like putting themselves out there to say, okay, look, we want to get involved in franchising, and instead of kind of doing their application and kind of saying, okay, we're going to do XYZ, they're like, look, okay, we'll show right where we should be involved. So this was honestly mega. Like, a look at the crowd at this venue is absolutely spectacular. Now, speaking of this, really, we've got to mention the fact that for, well, Masters Copenhagen, who knows if there's even going to be a crowd there. 12,000 people in this venue. For Masters Copenhagen, there's no guarantees at all. So this certainly shows, like, if K-Corp don't get a franchising or partnership spot as a result of this one, like, I don't know what right are playing at, to be honest. Now, of course, that's kind of the big question. Which organizations are going to get involved? SicK esports, some people believe are still going to get in on the kind of the APAC side, and even like, it definitely depends which organizations, such as let's say Gen.G, they want to get involved in the North American side for the franchising ecosystem, but they might get rejected from that. They might have to do EMEA, or like they might have to, well, go to APAC, right? Some organizations might get moved if Riot likes them from North America and Europe over to the APAC region if they don't have enough spots to really acquire over there, which, because right now the rumor has it there's only going to be 10, which is incredibly low in all regions, I think. Now, one team I thought I'd mention here that has apparently applied, Godlike, as an application for the franchising league trial. So Godlike, I think maybe an Indian organization, and yeah, hello Rita, here's our application for franchising, we accept Godlike. Now, I mean, this is there was all sorts of drama about this organization just yesterday and a couple of days ago now, because they were in a bit of a conflict with TSM. Like, this is not strictly Valorant related, but as Bodog says, apparently this organization, the amount of guys have heard about in the news, applied for Valorant franchising, and I'm very, very surprised if they even get close to getting it, to be honest, because apparently this organization is rumored to have applied for Valorant franchising, but was involved in this drama you guys might have seen. There's Godlike, one of the biggest organizations, esports teams in India, signed TSM member Shadow to their kind of PUBG mobile roster without ever even talking to TSM. So apparently Shadow was kind of a free agent and would have been like able to be acquired for free, but instead of actually talking to TSM, they just signed him anyway to a new contract without the previous contract being terminated. Therefore, TSM are like, well, we're not going to take that. We're going to pursue legal action as a result of this. Like, we're not going to let that happen. Now, Godlike claims apparently they're going to do the same thing back to TSM. They're going to be legally pursuing TSM. They're not going to go down kind of fighting, and effectively they're going to be going after TSM for harassment, slander, and the abuse that they have brought to the player and the organization. So, not sure what they're thinking. Like, is it, even as they say here, we don't take threats lightly. We are Godlike, and they tweet this type of stuff out, right? Talking about, okay, like Shadow legally terminated his contract by sending a termination letter. Like, whether of course TSM have to actually accept that, that's a bit of a question mark. But anyway, Godlike have been up to this type of stuff in esports that aren't Valorant, and apparently now they want to get involved in Valorant. So I imagine Riot are going to look at this and think, okay, maybe this is not an organization that we necessarily want to have, like, directly tied to our franchising era as we go forward. Now, speaking of course of Carmine Corp and the event that they just put on in France, this is kind of a major question mark as to what's going to go on in Copenhagen. It's not far from now that Masters begins. We'll see that here in a second. It's only in, the end of July. I think July the 24th it finishes, and it's on for like 2 weeks before that. So it's only a few weeks away that Masters in Copenhagen is officially on, and we don't have any news yet as to whether tickets are even going to be available. I think maybe AIM Lab have been giving away some, but I'm pretty sure Riot haven't said yet that where tickets are available. Can you buy them? Can you actually go to the event? Because at the time Valorant UK tweeted that there was going to be a crowd at Copenhagen. I mean, look, we definitely need a crowd to be back now. I mean, come on, if this team can put on a crowd of 12,000 in France, like, it's got to be possible, right? At least to have some sort of crowd at the venue. Now, the rumor had it at the time there was going to be like a partial crowd, like maybe for the latter stages of the tournament. There's going to be a crowd in attendance there, but still no news on this as of yet. And as Bodo also says, meanwhile, Masters 2, like, where is the crowd potentially going to be for this one? Maybe non-existent. So we shall see on that front. But yeah, it would be frustrating if that's not the case at all. And even the last chance qualifier, right? Is that even going to be on LAN? Where's it going to be? Where's it going to be held? Like, all these questions that for some reason, like, we just never get any answers to until the last minute. Now, I wanted to mention this as well because episode 4 or whatever they call it ended yesterday. Hayes says he actually ended in Immortal. Let that give everyone hope to everyone who is trying to make it. But well, also as Valor Leaks 8 episode 5 today, so everything is kind of going to kick off again. And potentially, this usually coincides with a rather significant, well, changes to the meta, potentially. Now, questions have been raised, as Net says right here. Daily reminder to buff Cypher and KJ, that being Killjoy, and nerf Chamber, right? So Net certainly believes, like, he's kind of putting this energy out there in the world, because I suppose with, well, buffs and patches coming, whether they will change anything. So Chamber, of course, got nerfed not too long ago. They removed one of his kind of, well, traps that he can chuck down there on the floor, and arguably this is a rather good nerf, because it means that it, well, effectively makes him less like a Sentinel even more, but it does mean that the rest of his team has to kind of, well, organize in such a way to get that information that Chamber can't get anymore. But is he really a Sentinel anymore? That's a big question mark. In North America, he's picked like way more often than any other agent. Other regions don't actually always do that though, so there has been some questions about whether Chamber should be nerfed or not, and also there's been some questions from the likes of Seal as to whether a DE Pearl is going to play rather well, because it's coming into the map set relatively soon in place of Split, of course. Like, and Seal is also saying that a Tuscan clone from Counter-Strike would be rather good in this game as well, so he's kind of manifesting that reality. But as Valorant says, also some thoughts on Chamber. Nothing feels worse than dumping 10 pieces of util on a Chamber just for him to top you, headhunter the next guy, and teleport straight out of there, right? Which does seem to be the Chamber specialty at this point. So we'll see if there's anything changed to this. Lots of people are talking about teleport cooldown or range being the potential changes that Chamber might need to just make him a bit less strong, because what Jet used to be able to do very consistently, just set up shop in a stupid position, get one kill and teleport out of there, that is effectively what Chamber does nowadays. And honestly, he can teleport to wherever he wants to go, which makes him even stronger from a lot of people's estimations. Let's talk then at SicK and the Sentinels front, because they seem rather happy that, well, Split is going to be gone from the map set, but I believe it still might be in the map set by the time the LCQ comes around. If they can get through the LCQ and then win the entire thing, which they would have to do, then, well, to get to Champions, then that's when I'm pretty sure the new Pearl map might well come into play. But as SicK kind of said yesterday, feeling much better now, thanks to everyone for the support. I'll hopefully return to competitive play soon. So SicK yesterday said, okay, he hopes to return, but he wouldn't say he's absolutely 100% guaranteed. But yesterday he fired up the stream. It seemed a lot better on stream. I thought it was great to see. And like, I mean, yeah, he was honestly frying as well in the matches he was playing. So I'll show a clip right here. He gets a nice little 3k and then kind of goes in to say, yeah, I'm back. I'm feeling good. And yeah, seems to be confident in his return, and also the performance of Sentinels that they can have going forwards as well.
I think one's close mid doors.
I need assistance. This is not good.
Piss off.
I think he's still half wall.
There's a chip on me.
I'm gonna use my ult.
I mean, you just farm these ults, really.
Yeah.
Found one. One enemy remaining.
Oh my.
So
Get out. Just play off me. Peek off my contact. Peek off my get. Ah! I'm just kidding. Either way you want.
This side.
Okay.
he can walk out on you, Sky.
Ah, this is troll. I'm holding for one tap.
He's out.
Yeah, I flashed it. Okay, nice. Oh my god,
you
let's
were
go.
nuts,
Let's go. I'm back.
Sentinels.
Let's go. Thank you. Holy. Oh my god.
So still one of the key questions to me is, like, are Sentinels actually going to do anything ahead of this period, right? Because dapr did say and did suggest that their practice was going very well indeed, even with Raucus in the team, but certainly with SicK, you'd imagine it would as well, despite the fact that when they went into the games, they got completely destroyed. So I wonder if they think that, okay, with their practice as it is, with ShahZaM still there as the IGL, they're just going to stick things out, right? Look, if ShahZam's still on this squad next season, I'd be surprised. Like, a lot of people are suggesting ShahZaM should be gone, but I mean, look, as it is right now, they managed to qualify regardless somehow, and they might just think, okay, let's just stick it out, and given our practice was going okay a couple of weeks ago, let's just go for it for the rest of the season. But they've got quite some time to consider what they want to do. The last chance qualifier, well, okay, let's just look at this first. Masters Copenhagen ends on the 24th of July, so they've got all the way, like, effectively a month or so until the end of Masters Copenhagen. Of course, they're not going to be attending this one, and then a few weeks after that, then that's when the LCQ goes down. So potentially after Masters Copenhagen, like, there could be roster changes going on there as well. Of course, you can't change that much ahead of the LCQ, otherwise you kind of lose your spot. You probably have to maintain 3 of your players, even though I'm not exactly sure how that all works, because if everyone makes changes, then I suppose that they have to at least give the spots to someone. But they could potentially make a 1 or 2 man change, especially if there's potentially players and teams coming out of Masters that then want to make changes, well, further to that as well. So we'll see what happens there, but mostly you'd think the teams that make the LCQ are going to stick it out and see what happens. But these are the last chance qualifier dates. I'm not sure they've been confirmed yet for North America. I couldn't find them, honestly. But this is for East Asia and Asia Pacific. They're starting in early August, effectively. There's some game changers ones as well for the last chance qualifiers. But again, early August is the expectation for when the LCQ is going to be. Last year, like, it was a bit later on in the season, obviously, because the season was kind of pushed back by a few months. But last year, they did it on LAN in North America, which, I mean, obviously was an absolute disaster because they then had to send everyone home because people tested positive and it was an absolute shambles. So hopefully this year they do it on LAN again. They certainly could if they wanted to. But yeah, still no confirmation yet when it's going to be, like exactly how long Sentinels have if they want to make any moves. But yeah, SicK does seem like he's going to be returning confident in what they can do going forward as well. They certainly have the firepower, but I'm just not confident with this roster of 5 they're actually going to cause any damage going into that one, especially given their performances most recently as well in the main event itself. Admittedly, without SicK for quite a lot of it, but still weren't looking great regardless. In order to mention a couple of things here for various regions, because in the Korean side, DRX took down Damwon Gaming yesterday 2-0. Like, these guys just don't draw a map. I'm actually not sure they've even dropped a map yet in kind of the Korean side so far, and they still haven't in the bracket. They're now in the grand finals. Winning this one, of course, will send them through to Masters Copenhagen. That'll be exciting stuff. And also, this is the Japanese side. Northeptian Zeta Division, they play in a couple of days. Then we've got Crazy Raccoon already here in the lower final. So one of these 3 teams, the winner of the grand final, will go through. Certainly, of course, could still be one of these 3 teams. Anyone can still do it. They've got to win 2 more series, both of these teams, if they want to qualify. But only one of them will do exactly that. We'll see if Zeta Division can effectively go back-to-back qualification for Masters 2 as well. But very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, tell us your YouTube gods. This is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And upgrade the competitive Valorant community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.